say in judgment, we say the Lord will let you get fat on your wickedness. And the Lord let Polight get fat. He went out there was with Money Mayweather, took a picture of Kobe Bryant. With
floor seats, all type of shit.
All type of stuff.
Rolls Royce, all
and now he in jail for rape.
Crazy.
But, these battles is a phenomenal display of a battle of ideas and idioms. And like I said, you know, Nitty's last round spoke to the uncomfortability, you know, when he was like, did y'all attempt to teach and reach us? You feel me? So it's still like that bitterness towards consciousness in terms of saying, you know, was the information ever made accessible to the people who need it the most to give us the opportunity to utilize it to bring ourselves back to this level of where you condemning us from? So you got to be very careful for that. And that's a very thin line that not only I think the LUX knows how to tread very good, but that's where his whole career's challenge has been. Because when you come from both sides, you know what I'm saying? It's like Malcolm X, he was Detroit Red, you know, but you can't become Malcolm and then totally disavow your life, relationship, experience, and time in the streets as Detroit Red, because it's still a foundation that you stand on. Don't disavow a part of yourself. Don't cut your nose to spite your face. You feel me? And me, I come from the underworld. You know what I'm saying? I got plaques on walls in the underworld of things that we did in our early teens. I hopped off the porch when I was 14, and we was on the Hall of Fame by the time we was 15 in the boosting world. You feel me? And it only got refined with time. So I can never shit on, you know, what I come from in terms of the you know, the environment and me knowing who and what I was around, and you know, the decisions that had to be made in those environments, things of that nature. So you can't pretend to be holier than thou. But I also understand, you know, that there's still a level of accountability and possible atonement that still comes with that. Like when you come to a full realization of what that was, and you accept the accountability to know what energy that you were serving, then there's a level of atonement to say, yo, this is when I broke off from the pack and became an individual. To come back into the whole, I gotta clean my hands and at least ask for forgiveness, because I went against the whole for my personal wants and needs. You know what I'm saying? You break off from the pack when you make that decision. When you pick a pack up, you break off from the pack. Because automatically when you pick the pack up, it's me against the world. I gotta flip this pack. Everybody's a op. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's a custody. So you start looking at the world totally different, and then you became isolated from the pack, and then you never became reintegrated back into the pack. So people get bred and they grow up from that space, not understanding that initial phase of orientation was one that was unnatural, because you initially isolated and broke yourself off from the pack so you could go and get a little piece, but you forsaken the larger piece, the mother lode. You feel me? The fucking mountain of gold. You ran off with a crumb, and that became your legacy. And you forsake the mountain of gold. There was like the one that they found in Haiti full of the iridium. You can't even put price tags on that. These are such rare earth minerals. And when we talking about us as a people, this version of us as of lately, we are such rare earth minerals, the illest of formations. That's what I'm saying. Like the pantheon of gods and goddesses that exist in the battle rap universe, they are so much bigger than these platforms, and no disrespect to these platforms. You feel me? But they're universes upon universes upon universes. And imagine how many more out there that are not in front of cameras. You feel me? That are now being birthed and things of that nature. Because if nothing else, what these platforms represent is an opportunity for lyricism to be showcased at the highest level. You got to have bars. So this is the preservation of the art form, right? This is always a potential pool of talent that's available, and then it's accessible with liquid swords. You feel me? You can never say that lyricism is dead, or it don't exist, or it's not being preserved, because it exists in the realm of battle rap, and it's being refined and sharpened every time that there's a battle, because everybody's showing up to hear bars. So you want to speak about any of these bars? You got any questions in regards to you know, how you want to dissect or break down any of these bars?
I mean, I get to ask, what was your favorite line?
Damn.
From the battle. You know what I'm saying? Or your favorite lines from the battle, you know? Some from LUX, some from Nitty, you know? That you remember or that you really like, or just angles, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I thought that was brilliant when Nitty brought the vegetable state. And not only was
healthy, we find them in the vegetable state.
It was the pinnacle part of a performance, right? Let me say it again, because it was the punch that was the pinnacle part of a performance. You feel me? And he just the simulation of what the punch would have looked like when the shit connected is how he fell into the vegetable state. So it was the pinnacle part of an exemplar performance, which was his round one, which was by far, like I said, that was God tier level performance for him. His performance points on that is amazing. You feel me? The way that he was able to, he you know what I mean? Like the way that he was able to move himself out of that corner and get some motherfucking, you know, some air to shoot them jabs and get them punches in, and it was nonstop, and it was impressive. So that whole round to me was just like I said, that whole round was a work of art. Both of their rounds, you know, it deserves to be in a museum somewhere, you know. It deserves to be in a museum somewhere with connotations, explanations, annotations, breakdowns, and visual, you know what I mean? You know, a visual journey of verse 1. Wow, give y'all too much cloth. Like, look at that back there.
Oh, like, that's fire.
Yeah, it would be on some shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
You would be going through verse 1 and be on that. Yeah.
I know they gonna want to see.
You know what I'm saying? That would be some dope shit.
Yeah.
Feel me? But LUX. Let me see what you know.
It was 2. I know it was a lot. You know, it was 3 rounds of like bombs and fires and hailstorms
of just way too many. Like, of course, the obvious one. You know what I'm saying? And I mentioned it earlier. I like the only thing he was missing in that dude that took that shit over the top was "Beloved, Let's Get Abducted" out of like, oh. Because that's a t-shirt. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That'd have been a t-shirt category. Like, got him.
I mean, it's still.
But yeah, it still is. Like, yeah. You feel me? And again, with him, that was the pinnacle part of his performance. So it's not only what he delivered, it's how he delivered it and when he delivered it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You feel me? And it worked so well that it just became one of them joints that we will never forget. And it, you know, in its own sense, it has become the personification of the whole battle, you know, crystallized in that ball. So yeah, it's just, again, there was so many different references. Tell me something that you recall.
Let me see. Let me go back. I got I like, what was that joint that he said? The Ray Boom Boom Room joint. Like a function in your head.
Yeah.
Stop a function in your head.
Yeah.
Like Ray's Boom Boom Room.
Yeah.
That shit was crazy to me. That whole life, you know what I'm saying? That shit was crazy. You know what I'm saying? You having the whole function in his mind. Stop that whole like that's crazy. Like he went out. I really like that one.
He took off with that.
What was some other shit my nigga Lux had? Lux had a trunk load for him, man.
Yeah.
He was like, I think it was a permission line.
Right.
Smack,
permission.
Like you get paid permission.
Tell him what I want. Permission.
Yeah.
That was a pinnacle part of his performance where he delivered that punch at the right time. You feel me? That was also a linchpin moment. Yeah, I love the fluidity of thought that the Lux represented, that he brought, and it was a straight conversation. He could just almost float straight through with it. You know, his you know, he had his gaps, his pauses when he needed to emphasize what he needed to emphasize. It was just well delivered. It was well performed. And you know, I'm glad to see that it's having the effect that it's having, at no detriment, like we said, at no detriment to the legacy of Rum Nitty, because, you know, salute to the young God, you know what I'm saying? He don't have nothing to be ashamed of.
Wow.
You know what I mean? He's firmly standing on his two, and he's amongst the ones. He's one of them ones. You know what I'm saying? That's easy to see. And I feel for the next person that they put in front of him. He's gonna be a different level of an animal, rightfully so.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
But he battling Casey right after, Casey J.
Yeah, I would love to see, you know, and then I heard something about the brother that put my respect level for him on a whole nother level. And it was two things. When I seen Smack go and see him in Arizona, right? That was a situation, because I really seen Smack giving, you know, handing him the crown before the time of handing him the crown, but
got you.
It still was necessary in terms of his brotherhood, just to see what, you know, homie felt about him and why he was willing to put the chips on him, because that's what Smack said. That's what Smack said. He was putting the chips on Nitty. You feel me? And then it became a conversation again about ideologies. Like, yo, son represents the old. He represents Smack. Y'all represent URL. So, like, is this even marketable anymore? Do I know how to package consciousness? You know what I'm saying? Or do what he represent slow up what we represent in terms of where the economy over here is? He fucking the money up. So Smack was almost like, yo, get that shit up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Get the job done. You know what I'm saying? Bring this shit.
Let's run it up.
Bring this shit on. Let's take it back to where the nigga needed it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when I heard he was the father of a few children, like a single father, you know what I mean? I was like, damn, I seen a different aspect of his humanity as well, you know? And I just think that, the young man with so much talent, I really want to see him grow to that space and that place where, you know, that talent can provide, but it can give life and not just give death. You know what I mean? Because he has a God-given, life-giving talent. You know what I mean? And he is an alien.
Facts.
You know?
Yeah, so you know, we in the aliens while they talking about aliens.
Yeah.
we doing
amongst them. So
yeah,
peace to the young gods, man. All of the young gods, man. They y'all is kings, y'all is titans, and just like we talking about the artists of yesterday, how people hang on to every word that they say. You know what I'm saying? And you can see it in the way that shit displays itself in the world that we live in to this day. You know, it's the same way that they're gonna follow, you know what I'm saying, whatever you bring to the table. Like, that's how they framing their this is what they utilizing to frame their world and their reference, especially the ones that want to come up after you and become acolytes of yours, the same way that y'all said that y'all was the acolytes of them brothers' initial light. Like, Loaded was the person that you patterned your whole thing behind, and you feel me? Or it was Mook, or it was Hitman, or it was Charlie, or whoever it was, right? People look at artists and then they get their pedigree together, and then they find their own footing or what have you, or hopefully they do at some point when they get in the game, right? But let's not forget what got us here, you know what I'm saying? And the thing that's definitely gonna keep us here is to embrace some aspect of consciousness. Whatever you call it, that's what you call it, but never be dismissive of it, because it is life itself, not death. Peace.